I feel like there's this feeling that a lot of people have that the Most High is angry because we aren't accurate with, or some of us may not be accurate with the correct timing or the correct pronunciations or just the things that are connected to our heritage. Um, I feel like it's this underlying feeling that some people have that the Most High is angry because we're not doing these things accurately, and we need to make sure that we're doing these things accurately to please the Most High. And I feel like that's kind of the thought pattern behind the this emphasis and the anger and the constant debating and zealousness behind some of it. Um, some of it is just a bunch of confusion, but for those who are genuine, I feel like that there's this underlying thing like I don't want to be wrong and I want to get this right, which is fine, right? So what I think that we're forgetting and we're not considering, right? When we look at the scriptures and all of the writings, we have to take into consideration time periods, right? And I think that sometimes we just kind of overlook that and we just look at it as one whole writing, one whole history, and we don't consider what the Most High desired during different time periods, right? So when Israel was a nation, when they were a nation of people, the Most High gave them, they had clear instructions on what to do, how to do it, when to be doing it, right? They had clear instructions. They were under the Most High. There was nothing keeping them from knowing and doing other than their own rebellion and disobedience, right? So everything was clear. And then the Most High says, we read in Jeremiah, I believe Jeremiah 17, where the Most High says, I myself, like I will, you will be discontinued from your heritage, right? And I'm going to scatter you. He tells us how we're going to be scattered and we're going to be discontinued from our heritage, right? That is what's going to happen if that was the warning that was going to happen if our people did not turn and fully obey him when we had the capacity to in our land. So we know that what happened was that did not happen. They were, the Most High kept good on his promise and scattered in the people. The people are still in exile today, right? The people have been scattered and gone into captivity and are in exile from the land, right? So the Most High, well, put it like this, the people, because of their sins, were disconnected from the heritage by the decree of the Most High. Okay, so because of the disobedience of our ancestors, the people were put into a position where they were disconnected from their heritage, right? So and it was not just a random curse, right? It's a consequence of not being a nation that is under Yah, not being a sovereign nation. The consequence of that is that you go into captivity in other lands and cultures will cause you to come up under their culture, right? That's the nature of captivity. That's the nature of conquering and ruling in this earth. So because of that, we are we are disconnected, right? And part of that, because our heritage was connected to the Most High having compassion on his own name, his own salvation, the Most High, even though he utilized man as a tool to accomplish these things, I believe that it was his will for certain things like his name to be hidden. His name's never been truly hidden. It just has been unknown to a lot of us, right? But I believe that it was the will of the Most High so that his name would not have been being defamed amongst the nations for the last 2,000 years, right? So it is a blessing and a miracle for him to be reviving these things to us in this time period, so that we can reattach to it, and for another reason that I'll talk about later. So I believe that all things work together with the Most High. The Most High is never a victim of anything. So he's not a victim of his name being hidden. If his name was hidden, it's because he desired and intended for it to be hidden for a season. So now that it's coming back to us, to our knowledge, it is a sign of the times, and it is the Most High's intention for that to be so. However, and also when it comes to the things like the Sabbath, it was said that we, man would conquer and they would change times and seasons and all these different things. These things were prophesied. The Most High understood and knew that this was what was going to happen, right? So now that he's bringing these things back into our consciousness, right, it is for a blessing, right? It is for a blessing unto his people who he has setting apart, his remnant, to be able to come back to this wisdom and knowledge and understanding that he's revealing to us, right, for our good. Also, I believe that it serves as the way that it's being handled. When I see the way that things are being handled today, it bears witness to the judgment of the Most High and why he allowed our people to go into captivity, right? So lest we be confused and read the scriptures and think that the Most High judged the people harshly. We get to witness today as we are seeing the Jacob, as we are seeing the bloodline people coming back to knowledge, right? As we are seeing the Gentiles cling to the heritage of Jacob in Israel. We're seeing these things come back to the forefront. What we're also seeing is the spirits of the people who were in the time of our ancestors. We see the rebellion of those who did not want to hold on to the truth and grasp onto the truth and wanted to continue in their own ways. We see the spirit of the Pharisees who put the heavy burdens on the people, right? Who put their own traditions, who had the mindset that was contrary. We see the spirit of Jezebel, right? We see that spirit that wants to silence, right, the spirit, the prophets of the Most High, and the spirit of the Most High. We see the spirit of the anti-Mashiach, right? We see all these spirits coming up in this time period. So we're seeing a real life reenactment of what was back then, right, during the time of our ancestors, so that we can see that this is, lest we think that we would have done better than they did. In this time period where the Most High Spirit has been given unto us, we see a repeat of all of these things, right? So that we can be without any confusion that the Most High was righteous in his judgment then, and he's going to be righteous in his judgment today. So we see these things, we see this in action, and we see the reenactment of all these things. So as the Most High is revealing these things back to us and bringing us back into our heritage, we have to remember that the Messiah has come, right? The Messiah has come. For those of us who believe upon Yahushua as the Messiah, right? The Messiah has come, and the Most High said, "This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. Hear him," right? We ought to follow the Messiah. He is the head. So going back to what I started off with, a lot of people believe that the Most High, his main intention is that you come to accurately reconstruct your heritage that I disconnected you from. And that is not what the Most High said that he intended for us in this time period, right? He said he would bring us back to who we are, but his will for this time period, once the Messiah came, was for us to follow him, right? For us to be re-enter into the covenant through the Messiah, for us to receive his spirit, right? For us to come into salvation. Salvation has come. See, our ancestors were keeping the Passover and the spring feast days, right, in anticipation of the actualization of it, right? But the actualization of it has come, right? So now we are in the reality of that salvation, right? So the whole point of the feast days was to lay out the plan and the prophetic plan of salvation, right? That's the point of the feast days, right? The point of the Sabbath. It said that Sabbath, the man was not made for the Sabbath to serve the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, right? So we want to enter into the Sabbath. We want to understand the Sabbath, that rest that the Most High is trying to get us to comprehend. And it's also a part of his plan of salvation, that seventh day, right? So the Most High is, so we want to make sure that we're coming into the understanding of the things. Not the Most High is not trying to get us to accurately keep the letter of the law. He's trying to get us to spiritually understand and enter into the laws and the instructions that he gave to us, right? Right. So we're not trying to rebuild a nation. We're trying to advance the kingdom that's coming, the kingdom that's in our midst, right? So we're trying to enter into the spiritual, it said we're going to worship him in spirit and in truth. So we're coming into the truth and the spirit, right? The understanding of the Sabbath, not just is the Sabbath sundown to sun up, or is it sun up to sundown? Is it the seventh, is it the on Saturday, or is it 7 days after the new moon? Like that's not the point. Right? Of course we want to be accurate, as accurate as we can be, right? But that was not the point. The point was for us to understand and enter into his Sabbath rest, right? The point of the feast days was to be a tutor and a teacher to us, to show us and to bring us into a revelation, an understanding of the salvation that he was bringing us into through the Messiah, right? So if you have entered in through the Messiah, if you are walking in that salvation, then the feast days are just give you a continual it's a continual teaching, adding layers to your understanding, your revelation of grasping hold of it, right? It's keeping you on a calendar that is keeping you in a state of awareness, right? Because the spring feasts have been fulfilled, but the fall feasts have yet to be fulfilled. So we're looking towards this time period. So we'll be in a season of understanding of what has happened, what we're in the midst of, and what is to come. So that is the goal. That is the purpose. That is the what the Most High wants us to grasp. Why would the Most High? It's kind of why would the Most High be angry with us for not accurately and perfectly understanding which exact date and all these different things, when he himself disconnected us from it and scattered us in a land that is contrary to it? So he's not playing a scavenger hunt with us, like, okay, you better go find these pieces and you better get it back right together the way it's supposed to be. I know I scattered you, but you better get it back to the way it's supposed to be. No, the Most High is trying to bring us back to what our ancestors failed to grasp in us re-understanding these aspects of the Torah is to continue to add the layers to that understanding of salvation, right? We're supposed to come to the Messiah and follow him, right? That's what the Most High desires for us in this dispensation of time, to humble ourselves, okay? You understand and acknowledge that our people messed up. We messed up the opportunity to be a nation, okay? In the physical, reality of this earth, right? We messed up that opportunity, right? To be able to have Yah as our king, right? We messed up that opportunity, right? So it's almost like it's almost like if you told your child to do something and they didn't do it, and then you give them a punishment, or tell them to go, you change what it is for them to do, but then they just go back and just try to keep doing the original thing when you told them it's too late now. It's too late for that. Now this is what I have for you to do. This is what I need you to go do now. You told your kid to clean your room and they didn't clean it. So you're like, okay, since you didn't clean your room, I need you to go do something else. I need you to go with your cousin to your cousin's house now, and go over there, help them rake the yard or do whatever, whatever other consequence. You didn't want to clean your room, so now I need you to go do that. And then instead of them going and doing that, what you told them, they just go and run to clean their room. You're like, that's not, it's too late for that. It's too late for that. Yeah, your room's still gonna be clean. I still want you to clean your room, but now I need you to go with your cousin. That's my new instruction for you, right? So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like people are trying to reconstruct their heritage and try to get it right what our ancestors have already gotten wrong. And that's not what the Most High asks us to do now. That's over. So now I need you to come, humble yourself, and come through the door of Messiah, right? Receive my spirit, and I need you to be an ambassador of my kingdom, right? Not your ancestors. Be an ambassador of my kingdom, my spirit. Bear the fruit of my spirit, and and follow the leader that I have appointed to you, right? And in that, you can still look back at the things that belong to your heritage and allow that to be an edification, right? Allow that to be, but don't think that your justification is in keeping the Sabbath on the right time frame, or the feast days in the right time frame, or the right Hebrew pronunciation of these names and all these different things. This is not what your salvation is in. And I think a lot of people are acting as if, or thinking and believing and teaching and moving in a way where they think that their salvation is in these things. Our salvation is in the Messiah, Yahusha, and that is what we're supposed to learn through the feast days, right? So that is where we have to humble ourselves and come into what Yah has for us now, right? We are advancing his kingdom, right? That will be soon established on the earth. So his kingdom, with Yahusha as the head, the Messiah as the head, is going to be established on the earth, right? That time is coming. But in the meantime, his kingdom we are being built up as a kingdom, as a royal priesthood, being prepared for the fullness of that, right? So our temple, right? It would be foolish for us to go out here and start trying to create a temple when he's told us that in this time, I didn't tell you to go build a temple. I'm building your temple, right? I'm building your temple. So we have to understand what the Most High desires for us now, and not try to go and recreate the past, right? The ancient path is his eternal path, right? What was and is to come, right? So I just wanted to speak on that because I just think that a lot of us are misguided and have a misunderstanding, or in a state of, and this is for those who are genuinely in a state of wanting to please the Most High and wanting to get it right and realizing, oops, I done did it wrong. Those who have a spirit like King Josiah, who are like, oh my goodness, we not keeping the law. Let's get this thing together, right? We have to be urgent like that in the right dispensation of what Yah desires for us now. Oh my goodness, our people didn't keep the law. This is why we over here. What did the Most High tell us to do? Follow his son, right? Follow his son and enter into spirit and truth, and learn all of my ways in spirit and in truth, right? Right? Be not being more concerned about wearing fringes when the purpose was for the people to remember to keep his commands, right? So today, keep wearing a fringe today and yesterday. Wearing fringes is not transforming your heart. It's a fine activity, but it's not transforming your heart, receiving his spirit. So if you're wearing fringes but you have not received the ruach, if you have not received of his spirit from the Messiah, then the fringes, that's vanity, right? It's fine to do, but it's vanity if you've missed the point of why the Most High said to do it. So I think it's a lot of missing the point that's going on, and I think we got to get back to the point, and that only comes through spirit and truth. So you have to make sure that you have received the spirit of the Most High, and that you are heeding to the Son, that you are following him, and that you are learning the Most High's Torah in spirit and in truth, right? Not in trying to overanalyze and battle with each other over who's more accurate, right? Who's more accurate? Sun up to sundown, full moon, or you want to be? Yes, we want to be right. We want to do it the right way to get the right understanding from it that we're supposed to get, right? But I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying. I hope I'm clear in what I'm saying, and nobody takes it and runs and says that I'm trying to say don't keep anything, or we don't have to be right. What I'm saying is don't miss the point. Don't miss the point, because a lot of our emphasis goes on trying to be accurate in things that the Most High Himself has disconnected us from. Like that's like saying the Most High is gaslighting us or something. Like he's playing some kind of game with us. Like, I'm going to throw this over there. You better find it. You didn't find it right. You know, like that wasn't His intention. It's His mercy that is allowing us to even grasp at some of these pieces to get it back. You know, to be able to, on one hand, appreciate what He's showing us, and then on the other hand, to lament, you know, on what we lost, to give us some remembrance of, you know, what happens when what happened when our ancestors didn't obey Yah, and what happens today when we don't obey Him, you know, what we miss out on. And if we have the right humble attitude, it wouldn't lead us to beating each other over the head with these things, right? So that's all I'm gonna say about this for now, but I just wanted to share that. Was in the midst of working. He had to completely stop working. And I was going to work as I talked, but I got caught up talking. So that's all for now. Blessings to you. Shalom.